which has 4 paragraphs. Every time you will get a passage of 4 paragraphs only.
Okay.
Yeah. And each of these paragraphs would be labeled with A, B, C,
Mm-hmm.
and D.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There'll be one more letter E which is given to you, which talks about that it is not given in any of the above paragraphs. The information is not given in any of the above paragraphs.
Okay.
So the questions are statements, and you have to find to which paragraph does this statement belong to.
Oh, this like
Uh,
heading matching in IELTS.
yeah, paragraph matchings in IELTS. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So which paragraph it is labeling at? I mean, which paragraph I have to match? So you'll have a drop-down menu again here, and there'll be 5 options will be displayed: A, B, C, D, E.
Mm-hmm.
You have to choose the right label for each of these question statements.
And
Okay.
there can be multiple, like for example,
Yeah,
multiple
of
A's.
course. Of course. Because there are 9 questions and there are 5 labels. Of course, there's repetition is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
one label can be repeated twice, sometimes thrice.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely it is 4 times,
Oh,
and very rarely it is 1 time.
okay.
Okay, so there are chances that, and very rarely it is none. Okay, very rarely one label will not be given at all. That's
And we
very
have
rare.
to pick the last option, E, in that
Yeah.
case. Okay.
Yes, so now I'm saying that we have A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah.
Every label will have a chance to get represented in this question statement.
Mm.
In a very rare circumstances, one label will not be used.
Okay.
Very rare circumstances, or a one label used 4 times also
Mm-hmm.
is a very rare chance as well.
Okay.
Generally, it is used twice or thrice in
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And whenever one statement is not there in any of the paragraph, that is where you can put the label E.
Mm-hmm.
At times, because of the time is running out and you could not make out which statement, which question statement does this, I mean, which paragraph does this question statement belong to,
Mm-hmm.
at that times you can take a risk of labeling that sentence with E
Mm-hmm.
because of shortage of time. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
you are managing it well and you can understand that I have found this information in this corresponding paragraph, then you label it accordingly without taking any kind of a chance or a risk.
Okay. And what is the time limit, ma'am?
Yes. So for 9 questions, you have 10 minutes of time.
Oh, 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay. So in 10 minutes, you have to complete all the 9 questions, labeling it with the right paragraph labels.
Okay. And do you think this strategy will work? Read a paragraph and read all the questions and see what matches that.
Read a paragraph, no, read all the questions first, we suggest. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
understand all the questions a bit, understand the keywords in the questions a
Mm-hmm.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we suggest is that you read a single paragraph
Mm-hmm.
and not in full. We suggest you to read the first sentence and the last sentence of that,
Okay.
only the first and last.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see, at least you can, by reading the first and last sentences of the individual paragraphs, you will at least able to make out of 9 a minimum 4 to maximum 5 choices.
Okay. This is a better strategy.
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
Okay.
Because generally, I mean, most of the question statements do lie in the first and the last. If you understand the first and last, you can make it out that this information would lie in this paragraph.
Okay.
Okay. So out of 9, 5, 4 to 5 you can answer with this technique.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest you can then think that this information, which paragraph could it lie? I mean, if I'm not sure which paragraph will it belong, will it belong to C or D or B? Then you go to that particular paragraph only. You skim that information there. Then you skim it,
Okay.
okay, and find out does this belong there. And if
Okay.
it is there, you can mark it. So remaining 4, you can address it by just going to the right paragraph. You don't have to read again from A to B to C to D.
Okay.
Okay. The first and last sentence, when you read, you are shortlisting your questions. Actually, you can able to understand that this question statement will belong to this paragraph.
Oh, okay.
And then you have an idea. Okay, this paragraph is the introductory paragraph about the topic. This paragraph is talking about how these activities are done. This paragraph talks about the demerits of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know where to look for the remaining questions
Okay.
in that sense.
And the entire passage, all the paragraphs are related?
Yeah, they're to the main topic.
Okay. Okay.
One
Right.
particular topic they have been explained. It's subjective matter actually. Here it's academic based topic you're going to read
Mm-hmm.
on a particular place of Canada, or it can be about any particular species found in Canadian region, or any kind of, say, renewable resources. They can give you a topic on that.
Okay.
They can give you a topic on technological development.
Okay.
So a very academic based topic you will get in this part, but not a lengthy, about 4 paragraphs. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So shall we start?
Yeah, ma'am, sure.
So as you read the question statement, the first statement says, park visitation is dependent upon approval from the aboriginal nations. Okay, what do you understand from it? Quickly interpret it in a simple sentence. Okay, so that you can understand the question clearly.
Okay, I don't know what aboriginal means, but looks like it's not from Canada, from somewhere else.
Okay. So
what I think.
what
The
do you
visitation,
make out?
you'll be able to visit based on the approval. You can only visit the park. Once again, park
Only on the
visitation is
permission,
dependent.
only
Yeah,
under the permission of this aboriginal nations.
yeah.
Now, aboriginal, if I do not understand, can I break and understand that word?
Oh,
If not, I may find this word, because this is a noun. I may find this information in the passage as well.
okay.
But what does aboriginal mean? Aboriginal means actually a kind of tribes who have been there in this place for ages since.
Or
okay?
natives of the park.
Natives, yeah, they're the tribes who belong to that region. They're
Okay.
aboriginal in that sense. Okay. So the park visitation is dependent on the permission given by these aboriginal nations. That's what they are saying in the first. Next one, regulated commercial activities are carried on within the park boundaries. What does this mean?
You don't find too much. You find controlled commercial activity on the boundary or perimeter of the park or whatever.
Yeah. So regulated means you're not able to.
You cannot do whatever you want. It must be authorized.
There is some kind of a licensed and some kind of a regulated manner, in a controlled manner.
Yeah.
The commercial activities are to be carried out within the park boundaries, within the park territories.
Yeah.
That's right. Next one, designation of the area.
Designation of the area as natural reserve negatively impacted Aboriginal people. Designation of okay, these areas which were designated as natural reserves impacted these tribe people in a negative way.
And negatively impacted, not positively. Negatively impact on the Aboriginal people. That's what they're doing. Correct. Next one.
Experts use park facilities to generate data on environmental factors. So some people who study the environment, they use this park to get those data about those environmental factors.
Yeah, experts refers to some people who are
scientists or government, people, whatever.
Government officials or some researchers, yes, who study environment and who study any other aspects of environment, maybe a geographical aspect, or some people who study about climate of that. So they are using the park facilities to get information on these factors. Correct. Next one.
Cuts in government funding led to park being closed for visitation. So probably there was some reduction in funds. So that was the reason for park being closed
for visitors to come.
Yeah.
Next.
The park has received important recognition from an international institute. So it's pretty straightforward.
The park has got some recognition, some prestigious.
Yeah, from some international institutes. Yeah, so like whatever, like UNESCO Heritage or whatever those are. And then you have Aboriginal people predate the arrival of modern infrastructure in the park region. So it says, the tribes have been living there even before. Even before. Like predate is they were there prior to the arrival of modern infrastructure.
You can see, Bhuvanesh, that there are some words which are not very commonly people understand this, because the level of vocabulary slightly is increasing. What you saw in part 1 or part 2, you have come across with some uncommon vocabulary as here. And that's why they want to test. So if you don't understand the word predate, some people predate feels like they are predators. Predator, so that's why they understand the sentence incorrectly. So predate, that means in the sentence also, sometimes when I read the entire sentence, I can make out what the meaning, even if I don't know it. They exist in this place before the modern infrastructure came into being.
Yeah. the government has mended their relationship with local aborigines. So that means they have made good relationships with the
They have
tribes.
made relationship.
Has mended their relationship. Mended, I
Hmm.
think, is I feel mended means
Hmm. Means they have repaired, they have
yeah, that.
patched up in
Uh-huh.
that sense.
Mhm.
Okay, so their relationship went sour at one point in time. So the government has done something in order to improve the relationship with the Aboriginal
Yeah,
nation.
improve was the right word that I wanted to say. Oh, right. Okay.
Hmm.
The park is site to Canadian geographical landmark. Okay, I mean that's
It's,
straightforward.
yeah, it's a site for Canadian landmarks. So it's a kind of tourist attraction
Yeah,
for people to come and visit this place, right?
yeah.
So it looks about some park in Canada. I can get that. And about Aboriginal nations, do they need feeding approval for entering it? Are they affecting? Are the
How
modern
it's
infrastructure
affected, how it affected the people there. I know how the government had to cut funding and
that
what led to,
government has done its own?
yeah, how it led to, park being closed. It has some importance in International Institute. This park has importance.
Very environmental in experts for getting information about the environmental factors or not. So, in all about we talk about park, the existence of people in that park, and the government's contribution in developing the park and affecting the Aboriginal people, or government has positively affected the Aboriginal people.
Yeah.
In both ways, we have to study that. So we'll go to the first paragraph.
Okay.
Just read the first line. Now, if the first line is short, you can read the next succeeding line.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, only read a first line and the last line of this paragraph.
Okay. National parks have existed in Canada for well over a century, so that's like a very short one. The
Hmm.
Canadian National Park System is aimed at preserving and representing natural areas of all 13 provinces and territories in the country. Okay, so this talks about how Canada had, parks
Hmm.
for almost a century or over a century, and that
Hmm.
they are trying to preserve the government, or
Protect.
whatever is trying to preserve, protect
Hmm.
these areas in all
Correct.
13 territories.
Yeah. Then we move on to the last sentence, which
Yeah.
starts with.
So among the Canadian nation, some national park reserve stands out being declared a United Nations educational, scientific, and UNESCO World
Yes.
Heritage Site. Yeah,
Hmm.
in 1979. So it gained some recognition by UNESCO for its
Hmm.
glacier and icefield landscape and wildlife,
Yeah.
which includes
Beautiful.
grizzly bears,
Carabao,
caribou,
mouse,
moose,
moose,
yeah, wolves,
wolves,
and
and dalshin. Yeah.
yeah.
So I
So
think I can reflect now that one question was there
about the
on getting this prestigious.
international recognition or something, right? Where was that?
Hmm. Which
Sixth one.
6 1 years. So this is your A, correct?
Yeah.
Any other options do you, any other questions do you think has the link?
Um, yeah, one second, we're looking at it.
Hmm.
It doesn't say anything about the first one. It doesn't say anything about getting approval. It doesn't say anything about commercial activities. It doesn't say anything about negative impacts. They didn't say about generating data as well. Cutting, no, nothing about funds. Six we
Hmm.
have done. Seventh is it predates the arrival of modern infrastructure in the park region. Okay, this looks um, but I didn't see anything about Aboriginal people there, so I
Correct.
don't think I
Yes.
should even pick
Not
that.
there. Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't talk about mending relationships or improving relationships or anything. The
Hmm.
park is a Canadian geographical landmark. Okay, did I see? Can I make? So when I have a doubt like that, I'll probably hold it off. I can write it
Exactly.
in on a scratch paper that this
Huh.
could probably be A
Right.
and
And
hold
you
it
can come
off.
back to it later. Yes. So
Yeah,
you have a doubt. It can be A. You can simply, I'm just putting it a question mark right now so that later we can evaluate on this.
yeah.
Right. So now we go on to the next paragraph to read. So all that we could do, we have done it. Now we read the next paragraph, same process, first and last sentence.
Okay. So National Park and Reserve is situated in the southwestern Yukon Territory and is over 22,000 square kilometers. Okay, it talks about the area. On
Hmm.
any day, research groups, okay, maybe conducting studies in number of fields, including geology, biology, botany, whatever. So research group includes the environment data as well. So, yeah, so Park, fourth one, I think our experts use Park facilities to generate data on environmental factors.
Yeah.
I think that is the only one that
That's the only one you feel. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we shall move forward then.
Yeah.
Next paragraph. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So archaeological evidences suggest humans may have lived in this area following the Ice Age. Okay, over 10,000 years ago. Okay, and in 1940s, the completion of Alaska Highway made areas accessible. Soon after, in 1940, the area was declared wildlife reserve, cutting off natural resources to people who depend. So there was this negative impact because of the highway, and it also talks about how before they've been living there. People have been living there for 10,000 years. That predates the modern infrastructure.
That can be understood, yeah, because from the ice age they're living, that means they predate any kind of modern infrastructure. Modern infrastructure can be understood as Alaska Highway that has been constructed.
Yeah.
And then 1942, the area declared as the wildlife reserve. It cut off all the natural resources
for people. Yeah.
Which statements you think are?
So 3 will come because it had that highway, impacted
negatively.
Yeah. And then cuts in government funding. No, we didn't know. We don't have anything of that. Seventh one. We have seventh one will be C.
They predate in the modern infrastructure of the region. Apart from that, approval is not there. It's cuts in government funding, we haven't come. Regular commercial activities, we haven't come. And the government has mended the relationship, we haven't come.
We haven't come across that, yeah.
Anything about government has not been come actually right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, let's read the next paragraph.
In 1972, the Canadian government designated the area as National Park and Reserve, which meant Aboriginal people regained access to natural resources. Okay. And then government branches and Aboriginal people have also found ways to boost economic activities in areas, investing in sustainable forestry to promote economic stability for on-reserve Aboriginals. Okay. So it talks about how Canadian government made this a national park, and it helped. I mean, this was because of which they were able to get back the access, but we don't have anything that talks about how it impacted positively. It doesn't say anywhere that. Okay, we'll hold that. And then they talk about economic activities, which is the regulated ones, the regulated whatever, right? Yeah. So again, one is still not found. 2, yeah. We had the last one, D. 2 is.
You think as D, right?
Yeah.
Anything else?
And then C, we have not come across 5. 5 anywhere so far. And then I think 9 now, because it is a national park. I think 9 is more appropriate.
9, Park is site to Canadian geographical landmark.
Yeah, because it's a national park now. So don't you think it's a big
national or any talking about anything about nationwide, well-known or something? National related information, is it there in that question statement? It has become declared by the government as national park, and that led to the access of their resources. That means government has tried to mend the relationship. Before it was a wildlife reserve. Okay. Before, when you ride the Alaska Highway, it was a wildlife reserve.
Yeah, it was.
Yes. Yeah. But now the government has made it national park and reserve, which made them the Aboriginals to gain access to natural resources. So this impacted negatively. Government has now mended the relationship with these Aboriginals, and they can get access to natural resources. Isn't it?
Yeah. It is an indirect.
Yeah. First, it was wildlife, as we read in the last sentence. Now, government has made it as national park and reserve. So, by doing that, government has made them regain the access. That means it's trying to mend the relationship with the Aboriginals, which they couldn't have it when it was declared as a wildlife reserve.
So
Yeah,
I
so
think if we read a bit more in that this one
yes, you can. You can. But if you have a doubt, of course. Now, if you suppose let me just quickly get. Oh God, everything is gone. So we chose A is not there. B, second we chose as D. Designation of the areas natural is negatively impacted Aboriginals. You
I
said
think it
as
was at the Alaska Highway, whatever that was. Yeah,
yeah. Experts use park
B. I
facilities
think that
B.
was B. Yeah,
That's in
cuts in
government
fund.
funding. We didn't
Nothing
get
so
that.
far.
This is important recognition.
That was
A.
A. Yeah, predates also
Aboriginal
somewhere is
is
C.
C.
C only. I think. Yeah.
Government has mentioned relation. This is your doubtful. Okay. And the park is site to Canadian geographical landmark. This your still A is doubtful for you, right?
Yeah.
So if I now go back and read, the park visitation is dependent upon approval from Aboriginal nations. Now, related to Aboriginal nations, we have information in which paragraph? Or we looked into information in which paragraph?
I we saw in C. I think.
C. So you go to read C now, and we have already the first and last sentence that they used to live about 10,000 years ago and how it affected their life. Now, remaining information, skim and see, does the entry of the park is dependent on Aboriginal permission? Read that.
Okay, evidence also suggests that the Aboriginal people have lived in the areas for hundreds of years. They settled in areas after long migration periods through the whatever lake. They were where they would hunt and gather. Okay, it's all about hunting, gathering, and all this explore.
You're talking about their lifestyle. Nothing
Yeah,
much said about does the approval dependent on Aboriginal nations.
yeah. Again, I think we saw the next one in D. We can see, look at D also.
Yep. Okay.
So federal and provincial governments joined forces to reach a series of agreements. Yeah. So this makes it clear that they mended the relationship.
Yeah, even a quick understanding is that if you can get that, I mean, just to make you understand, I mean, you always can read and get a better knowledge. But wildlife was there, declaring as national park, regaining their access means before they couldn't get the access, now they're regaining. So government has tried to mend relationship. That is somewhat the writer is very clear in that. And then he explained that through this Champlain and Aishik First Nations treaty and all these things. Okay, so he explained that with the agreement done. But here in the first line itself, it can be understandable that the government has tried to mend relationship with the local Aboriginals by making them as a national park reserve, making it as a national park reserve. So we do not have any information about the first one, right?
Yeah.
Is the park visitation dependent Aboriginal? It is not there. So we can mark it as E because I don't think it will be in A and B because B talks about introduction of Kluane National Park. I'm sorry, A talks about introduction of Kluane National Park. B talks about the territory and how it expands and how research groups are using the data for environmental reasons. But now we do not have any information Aboriginal in these two paragraphs. B, C and D we read. It wasn't there at all. So it has to be marked as label E.
Okay.
There's not much time. You cannot go through every paragraph right now.
Right.
So E, D, C, cuts in government funding. We read about governmental contribution, the last paragraph, and there we couldn't find that government has cut any funding to the park being closed for visitation.
Yeah.
Can be marked as E in that sense.
Okay.
So now we are left with, this is already you're saying, A to D.
Yeah.
This is clear now. Left with the 9th question. The park is site to Canadian geographical landmark. Now this question information either can be in A or it can be in B, because introduction about the park has been given in those two paragraphs, right? So are you getting me?
Yeah, ma'am.
So if I go to A, we've already read the most of it. And do I see anything about a geographical? Geographical means climate-wise. Geographical means land formations, territories, or how the land looks like. That kind is geographical. Okay, it talks about some weather conditions. It talks about something of a real importance in geographical aspect.
Okay.
That way. So when I see the remaining information here, it also doesn't tell us that it is of a geographical landmark. So the answer is not lying in A, it has to be in B. That's easy to understand also. And if I see here, it includes St. Elias Mountains, where the highest peak, that's a geographical information. Mount Logan is located. Also site to Canada's old climate research base, that's a geographical information.
Right.
Arctic Institute of Kluane Lake Research Station has been the hub for research from scientific organizing diverse disciplines from all over the country. So they are using it for, the facilities is used for experts, for research and for scientific.
Right.
That's just very clear now that 9th one would be B.
Okay.
So this is where you have to manage, because time is short. You have to first go with reading the first sentence and the last sentence. And definitely you need to know your questions beforehand. All the statements must be clear so that you can reflect. When you're reading the first and last sentence, you can reflect back and you can understand this answer can lie in this paragraph.
Okay.
And you don't have to waste time. When you read the entire passage and then you come back to the questions, many things you forget. And then again you start reading. It doesn't make sense.
Like instead of reading, like what I thought was read one paragraph, come back, read all the questions, see how many questions we can answer. Will that method work?
Reading one paragraph means you have to comprehend the entire information and then you have to can manage it. Some things you won't understand in the paragraph itself.
Right.
Generally, if you can go with the first and last sentence, what's the first and last sentence? Why we are saying
first
that?
Sentence is always what what this entire paragraph is going to talk about.
Exactly.
Last one is a conclusion of the paragraph. So
and
that gives
whatever
more
this last sentence is, it gets connected again in the first sentence of the next paragraph.
Yeah.
So that way it builds up. So that's the way you can help. It's really a helpful tool, because when time is short, you have to skim, you have to read the paragraph, read the sentences quickly and quickly to understand it. You don't have time to think a lot, because 10 minutes is like going to pass away. And sometimes the passages can be not what you know. Like you might be knowing about Killarney National Park, or you may not be knowing, or you may not be knowing about, say, for example, if I say nuclear energy in that sense, and I have not studied at all, I get a topic on that.
Right.
It might be difficult for me to comprehend. So if I start reading the paragraph, and it might not make any sense to me, I may not be able to answer my questions, and I get anxious, I suffer from anxiety at that point.
Got it. Okay.
So that first and last sentence could be helpful a lot in terms of answering the questions in shortest time.
Okay,
let's do another one so that it will be better. I'll do the next passage with you.
How many words, ma'am? Maximum. How many words will this paragraph have? I mean, these essays have?
Not much. I feel it should be around 300 max to max.
Okay.
Not more than that. I mean, not less than that, but it can be slightly more. But generally, paragraphs are short. It will not be too lengthy paragraphs they're going to give you.
Okay.
If you are a really voracious reader and you read a lot of things very quickly, you might go for reading the entire paragraph if you feel like that.
I'm a very bad reader.
So that depends on the person's skills. So if you have a very fast reading habits, then you can read the entire thing and quickly answer the questions.
Okay.
But because time is less, and since it's exam conditions, people do undergo some stress.
Yeah.
And it often happens that you finished part 3, and you find, okay, relax, that's done now. Again, you get a part 3. So that's because
that is also there, right? Yeah.
That is also possibility. Unscored and scored item is there, and you don't know whether you will
which one will be scored. Yeah, true.
So that's a tricky thing they're doing. I don't know why it is doing, but why it has been given. That's something they have come up with in recent times. Okay. So we will read the questions first.
So evidence suggests gum chewing can enhance some brain functions. Okay, it talks about how gum chewing can help some brain functions and stuff. I mean, enhance.
There's a proof in
there's some evidence. Chemical bases of chewing gum have been reformulated, so probably they have changed from one formula to another formula for health benefits or whatever. We don't know.
Correct. The chemical bases have been reformulated.
Yeah, and then chewing gum is used post-operatively as a healing aid. So probably when you have a dental surgery or whatever, it was used for healing or something. We don't know. Okay.
Yeah, for any post-operative activities, chewing gum can act as a healing aid. That's what it is suggesting.
Yes. And then there can be lifelong damage associated with regular intake of synthetic sugars. So it talks about how artificial sugars can have a very bad damage to your
lifelong. That means
permanent damage. And then chewing gum can curb some unhealthy dependent behavior. So say example, it's another chewing gum cuts, like it can be a substitute for some unhealthy dependency behaviors. Like if someone is chewing tobacco, probably they can switch to chewing gum, like something like that.
Yeah, good understanding. Yes. I can understand that you have a good comprehending ability. So I hope you do well in reading.
I hope so.
Majority of students don't understand the word curb and unhealthy dependence behaviors. I mean,
Okay.
That's something, it's I don't know, they don't understand what is unhealthy dependence behaviors. Dependence means addictions.
Yeah.
So if you don't understand that, you won't be able to visualize the question statement clearly in your mind. So it helps in reducing those addictions, like it might be smoking. People have a smoking habit. If they chew gum, they can forego that habit.
Yeah. And then some researchers oppose the reported benefits of chewing gum. So there is some proponents and then some opponents. So I think there is some research that's going on against. They're opposing the report. The benefits that some proponents are talking.
Yes, they have to oppose the benefits of chewing gum, saying that like they can have lifelong damage. That's why they're saying the benefits of chewing gum are not good.
Yeah. So
Uh,
there are some researchers telling no, this is not good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then patients who chew gum regularly tend to be more neglectful of their oral hygiene. So whoever patients who chew gum on a regular basis, they tend to forget. Neglectful is like not forget, actually, being
Neglect.
lethargic. Yeah, being lethargic about their oral hygiene. They don't care about their oral hygiene
Care
or
about the
something like
oral
that.
hygiene, because see, there are synthetic sugars, so it can affect your gum
Tooth.
and the
Yeah.
teeth as such, but they're not very careful about, so
Yeah.
neglecting.
Yeah. Early chewing gum was entirely natural, so probably it was, early as in we don't know. Maybe long time before even
Wow.
chewing gums were known as chewing gums, it was natural or something. Okay,
What does natural means? Entirely natural.
entirely natural is, it's just part of our, it's entirely natural as in it's just a habit or something like that. Not habit, I would say, but early chewing gum was entirely natural. So people used to before chewing gums were introduced, probably our ancestors or something, they were eating something that is close to chewing
Yes, and
gums.
something that is from the nature itself, like
Okay,
maybe
that natural. Okay.
yes,
Okay. Okay. Fine.
like you have seen that people use the neem stem
Yeah,
also
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
brush
yeah.
lines. So they must be using chewing gum as a natural product, as a
Okay.
natural. It's found in nature, in that
Okay.
entirely natural meat.
Okay. The benefits of sugar-free gums are recognized. So, they're telling that they're recognizing the benefits of
Sugar-free gum,
sugar-free
yes.
gums. Yeah.
That's been recognized. Okay, now we have understood. Let's talk about chewing gum, and its positive and negatives both are discussed in
Yeah.
this passage, maybe,
Yeah.
and see what is.
Talks
Okay.
about sugars and everything. Yeah. We'll just see.
So the first sentence.
The first record of chewing gum dates back to Finland about 5,000 years ago. It talks about the earliest known chewing gum, whatever.
And quickly understand, since see this first statement I read, it talks about some early period, and I remember there was some early period
Yeah.
question in my statement, so
Yeah.
I can reflect and read the next sentence.
Okay. Then Neolithic period chewing gum was made of bark. So yeah, this is natural thing, and was widely utilized for antiseptic and medicinal properties. Okay, that aid, probably we have to look at that. Okay, healing aids or whatever. It has also gained unprecedented popularity. So it has become very popular, becoming a $20 billion industry in North America.
So now it, when it is given, it's a pronoun. So we can reflect back on one sentence before to understand what does it referring to. And they're talking about modern chewing
chewing
gum
gums.
hardly resembles predecessors in appearance and flavor. And this has become unprecedented popularity and becoming a $20 billion
Dollar industry. Okay.
Yes.
So we should go back a bit when we see a pronoun. Okay.
You want to read further?
No. I just saw I just started reading at 8. So you
Yeah,
made
so
it clear. Yeah.
What is it referring to? We can read that because when a sentence starts with a pronoun,
Yeah.
to understand which noun is referring to, we can read the preceding sentence.
Yeah. Got it.
Now, to come back to your things, which one do you think is more?
Okay. One is not, nothing about brain, nothing about chemical, no, nothing about reformulation. Gum is used post-operatively as healing aid. I saw something related to medicine there, like it had some medicinal properties or something, but
Right.
did it talk
Antiseptic and
about,
medicinal properties.
yeah, near the period gum was made from bark and utilized for antiseptic. Okay, antiseptic and medicinal properties. Antiseptic is when you have cut and you,
Yeah. Put that ointment,
yeah,
paste.
yeah. So I'll probably just put a question mark. I mean, although it
This one,
is,
the third one.
for third one, it looks close. There can be lifelong, no, nothing about damage. It's all about introduction. So nothing about unhealthy habits either. No opposition. People who chew, no, nothing about now oral hygiene. Yeah, early, yeah, this one. It talks about tree bark. So
This is sure for to be
yeah,
A,
yeah.
correct?
And then nothing about sugar-free
Gum is
gum.
recognized.
Sorry, yeah,
If I can only mark 8th as A, then we read the next paragraph. Then.
yeah.
Okay.
And then over the past decades, the bad reputation chewing gum earned for causing cavity and gum disease. Okay, it talks about we saw one question where people who chew gum regularly, they tend to
Yeah, read the entire sentence.
yeah, reputation gum earned for causing cavity and gum diseases has begun to dwindle. Okay, dwindle is going down.
Going down, yes, dwindling.
So it has come down. The reputation
Yes.
that chewing gum is bad for oral hygiene has come down. Yeah,
Yeah, right, come
yeah.
down.
So surgeons also prescribe functional chewing gum for patients recovering from gastro. Okay, now that A question mark will be B.
Yes.
Okay, so over the past decades, the bad reputation of chewing gum earned from causing cavity gum disease also, I mean, has also begun to dwindle. Okay, okay, we
Come
need
back
to go down.
now.
Yeah. So nothing about your brain functions. Chemical bases have been reformulated. So far, we have not seen. As three, that's the post-operative aid, that gastro, whatever. Nothing regarding synthetic sugars yet. Gum can curb. No, we haven't seen anything. Some
Benefits
research
is
oppose. No, we have not seen that as well. Patients who chew gum regularly tend to become more neglectful of their own. So initially there
oral
was
hygiene
this,
issue,
yeah,
yes.
but it has
And
come down,
come
it seems.
down. So it doesn't matches with the question information.
Yeah. So we should,
Because the causing cavities and gum disease is also going to dwindle. It has
yeah,
reduced in
yeah.
that sense. Yeah, so when they talk about this, could you make out what this paragraph is all about?
It talks about positives. It's coming to a positive,
Benefits. Benefits of chewing
benefits of,
gum. That
yeah,
we can make it out. Yeah. That will help us when we read when we try to answer the remaining questions, actually.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is this. Anything else you want to highlight?
No, ma'am. I think this
That's it.
much.
No?
Yeah,
So we move on to read the next paragraph then.
yeah.
Recent research. Yeah.
Okay, recent research suggests the benefits of gum may not be limited to medicated gum. Chewing regular gum has been found to boost cognitive performance. So that's brain function, including improved reaction time, motor control, whatever. Moreover, chewing gum was observed to interfere with verbal fluency on short memory tasks.
So the sentence opens up, you can understand, talking about benefits of gum,
Yeah,
medicated gum, and they're saying that it helps in cognitive performance
yeah.
and improve reaction time. But the ending part, they talk about that it is affecting or
Yeah,
interfering with
with
the verbal.
verbal fluency. Yeah,
That's a contrasting information given in the same paragraph.
yeah.
So if I come back, can I make any choices?
Yeah, we can say evidence suggests gum chewing has enhanced brain functions. Yeah, one.
Yes, this can be said as my. Sorry.
Uh, yeah. Chewing gum can curb. Okay, there are nothing so far about lifelong damage. Unhealthy, dependent. No, nothing about that as well. For benefits, some research oppose. Why do I think it is there? Because it's coming from positive to negative. We don't know. Yeah,
We're not sure right now.
yeah. So far, nothing about oral hygiene. Benefits
Many
of, yeah. Sorry.
sugar-free gum are recognized. We haven't get that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm reading the last paragraph now.
And oral researchers posed the short-lived cognitive gains of chewing gum pale in comparison to their potential hazard. So cognitive gain is where it's not. It's the negative overweighs the cognitive gain. That's what they're
Yes,
saying.
yes. The potential hazardous health.
Yeah, they also point possible chronic is the lifelong, irreversible condition
Irreversible,
that
yes.
that ensue from excessive gum chewing, such as headaches, tightness in jaw muscles, and nerve. Okay, all these problems
Affecting
range
our,
from that range from tooth decay to bone loss. So
hmm,
people who chew gum regularly uh, might have ne- maybe we cannot say they neglect. Anyways, we'll see. So um, again, nothing about reformulation. Lifelong damage, yes, this is chronic thing.
So we can put here D.
Yeah. Uh, Five is again it's not, we cannot go pick five because D is talking about negatives. This one is
Exactly.
a positive one.
Hmm.
So some research oppose the reported benefits of chewing gum. Yes, this one will be D because
Oral researchers, yeah.
yeah, initial like the proponents they're opposing that. These people are opposing that. So a seven, I will say I will. I mean, I'll just put D question mark.
Okay.
Uh,
Tend to be more neglectful of their oral hygiene.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll put D question mark. So far, I've not come across nine. We have not come across.
Now we've done the entire thing and we can complete at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. However, D is the seventh one is a question mark for you.
Yeah.
We go with the second one. Okay, the chemical bases of chewing gum have been reformulated.
This
Which paragraph?
I think that dwindle thing there was a bad reputation. Probably that one or next paragraph we might come across this information. I don't know.
Yes, so the reaction, the causing cavities and gum disease have begun to dwindle. It talks about, I understood, it talks about positives because entirely from the ending part also talks about how surgeons are prescribing
Yeah.
chewing gum for gastrointestinal surgeries.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It talks about positives. If you read the entire information,
Yeah, with the
the
advent of
advent,
sugarless chewing gum, most dentists today deem chewing gum in moderation to be harmless, okay, or even potentially beneficial for oral hygiene. Okay, in addition, functional chewing gum, a special category of gum that imparts a practical function in addition to or as replacement for. Okay, so okay, the usual enjoyment provided by the
confectionery gum.
confectionery gum. Okay, that's the regular gum. Okay, has
Hmm.
become increasingly prescribed by dentists and doctors alike.
Doctors
Conditions such
alike.
as bad breath, tobacco. Okay, tobacco addiction. So
Hmm.
how gum is replacing those unhealthy habits? Yeah. So
Yeah.
this should answer that.
So unhealthy dependence behaviors, fifth one, we can put it as B,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And anything else?
Uh, yeah. The I think two looks here they're talking about how uh, from the conventional
The
gums of
gum, they
something.
have tried to make it a sugar-free gum, and they talk about the benefits of sugar-free gum, how it is
Yeah.
harmless
Yeah.
and beneficial to oral hygiene.
Yeah. Yeah.
In addition, they have practical functioning, imparts a practical function addition to or as replacement for
Yeah.
the German food confectionery gum.
Yeah.
It is also helping tobacco addiction. So talk
Yeah.
about the benefits of sugar-free gum,
So that's like,
how it is.
yeah. So chemical, I mean, the chemical base was reformulated. Can't we think that
That
is,
we cannot infer. Chemical basis was reformulated. Early chewing gum was entirely natural.
mm,
From here,
okay. Yeah. 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 That has connection. Yeah. Yeah. They talk about, yeah. Yeah. True. 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 Yeah, you're right.
how
Okay.
it has become reformulated. So that can be understood in this way.
Okay.
Okay. So ninth one,
The
what do you think?
benefit
Ninth
of
one?
sugar-free gum. We read it here, I think.
All the benefits were given in B
Yeah.
only.
Yeah.
We talked about how it is benefiting in terms of making them less addicted towards tobacco.
Yeah.
Also, it's harmless, oral
Yeah.
hygiene.
Yeah. Yeah. All those things. Yeah.
Okay, now we left with the second one. I think rest and D is a seventh one is a question mark for you. Rest, I think we have managed it. Yeah, B is this one. They can lifelong damage. D, chewing gum is post-operative healing aid. ASP. So chemical basis. Now chemical basis, it seems that from natural it has become to be
Synthetic.
chemically
Yeah.
based.
Yeah.
So I want to. Which paragraph should we go for then, Anish?
Like A only, ma'am.
Yes.
In A or subsequent paragraph, we will see something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In America,
Subsequently, I've read. So this one.
yeah. In America, chewing gum was introduced to settlers by American Indians who chewed resin, so natural, from sparse spruce trees. after World War II, chewing gum was made of latex substance, okay, which is synthetic, called Sicil, whatever, which was which has been steadily engineered and replaced by synthetic rubber and artificial. Okay, now it was latex and then it was engineered, so that is reformulation
Reformulation.
to
And
synthetic.
see, okay,
Uh,
also the word modern chewing gum.
yeah,
This resembles predecessors, hardly resembles.
hardly
That means
resembles. Is not close, not even close. Not,
to his
yeah,
predecessors.
no way close to
This
its
talks
predecessor.
about some reformulation actually here
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
So that way, and doesn't it principles also got a lot of popularity and became a $10-20 billion in North America.
Industry, yeah.
Yeah. So this is completely A. Let's understand it. Where is it? This one is A. So do we not have any E here? Chewing gum can curb some unhealthy dependence behaviors. Okay, some researchers oppose reported benefits of chewing gum. Yes. D. Patients who chew gum regularly tend to be neglectful of the
Okay,
oral
this one,
hygiene.
this one we have not seen anywhere. It doesn't say anywhere that who chew gum regularly they tend to.
Yeah, you can check the D option because D talks about negatives. You
Yeah.
check it. Does it talk about anything about
They
negative
claim
feelings?
sugarless gum is a myth. What in
Sorry. They claim the innocuousness of sugarless gum is a myth.
Okay,
The
expounding that.
consumption.
Yeah. Okay, consumption. Okay, that means
Yeah.
consumption. Okay. Expounding that sugar substitutes such as aspartame have been increasingly linked to different types of cancer and autoimmune disease. Okay.
So
It
it is
talks
giving the
about again the problem,
harmful diseases actually, and
Yeah.
not specifically to oral hygiene actually.
Yeah.
It's not there.
Yeah.
Even in C, we had read about modern chewing gum is affecting verbal fluency. So you can just have a quick look. Does it
Okay.
talks about anything about oral hygiene here?
Okay, these effects have been found to come at expense. However, although as many as 8 areas of brains are activated by simple. Okay, it talks about cognitive gains. Induced arousal can also be sustained for short period. Okay. Nothing about oral hygiene really.
Yes. So therefore, it is not there at all. That
Yeah.
means we have to
E.
mark it as E. That is the answer. So see, one question you were having a contemplation, and maybe the chemical basis. These two questions you had, but if you can understand this, they're talking about some chemical formulation, and this B talks about positives of sugar, about the chewing gum.
Yeah.
C also introduction is positive, ending part is negative. But anything about reformulation is not there. So then you have to realize that it talks about something of maybe the
modern and modern
Yes.
chewing gum and its predecessors.
Or it talks about some introductory part of chewing gum, how it came into existence. So that reformulated can be an introductory part. So you should reflect to the A paragraph.
Right.
Okay. Or else what you can do, you can take a risk. If you have less time, you have to put it E. There's no other way you can do it.
Okay.
So this one.
Ma'am, do you suggest, say, for example, I think it's A question mark. Okay, for instance. And there's less time. Should I go and change it to E or leave it at A?
Well, you can do, that's a tough to answer. Well, you can leave it at A also. If you feel that it has a high chances to be at A and you have found some information there, but you're not very completely sure, maybe 60% you're sure, 40% you're unsure, then you leave it at A.
Okay.
And see, taking a E a chance may not be, it always be correct.
Okay.
So it might be wrong also.
Right. But according to like what you said, at least like most of the times, every option will be there at least once.
Yes. Now, suppose you have already made a likely chance that this cannot be A, but you're not able to answer this question at all. You kept it blank, and time is running out. Only 10 seconds you have in hand. Then you put it E and move on.
Okay.
Without keeping it blank, just give it make an attempt and move on. If it is correct, it's fine. If it is incorrect, you can't do anything.
Right. Okay.
Then putting a A or a C or a D or a B is like you're taking a chance.
Right.
If it is there, it's an answer. So E is not going to be right always. When you put a E, taking a risk as a E, it may not be right.
Right.
What I'm saying is that since you have lack of time and you can't refer to the paragraph again, and the time is just 10 seconds or 5 seconds left and you complete it, you have to take that risk, take that call. And that's why we say in part 1 and 2, if you could do it well, so even in part 3, you make one mistake or 2 mistakes, it won't affect your overall score. The 9 bands won't get affected in that sense.
Okay.
Because part 4 will be again slightly more intriguing. as you level up your passages, as you level up from the part 1 to part 4, the difficulty do increase. It's
Yeah,
not going
there's a lot of vocabulary here.
Yes, yes.
That's right. Okay.
And if you don't understand those words, you might interpret the question incorrectly. And then you will find that the answer lies nowhere.
Yeah.
It's also possible.
True.
So that's where you have to read the question very well. Give this a quick time, about say 1 or 2 minutes time to read the question well, and then go with individual paragraph, first and last sentence, reflect where it can be. If you feel this answer is possibly there in text A or in the paragraph A, then you might read slightly further. You can slightly skim it a bit. If you feel, if you have that kind of intuition that plays that, okay, I feel something of the modern industries and modern thing, can it be about some reformulation or something? If it's hinting you, then you quickly read it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you have to, if you're still not able to make up the mind, do it later, once you finish the questions.
Okay, got it.
So there are other passages given as well here, Bhuvnesh, which you can try.
Okay.
One is about a species like animal they've talked about. It's about crow. Yeah, it's about the crows they have given you. So you can read that.
Okay.
And how they are performing their activities and how they take care of their family and all these things must have been given here.
Okay.
The next passage is about biofuel, biodiesel.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, same thing. When you talk about, when they give you these topics, they always give you the positive and negative sides of it. Okay. So one paragraph will have the positive benefits of these biodiesel fuel, and they'll also talk about negatives of it.
Okay.
Both ways you will have that paragraph. That's a must. That they always give.
Okay.
Oppositely.
Okay. I mean, in all in part 3, all paragraphs will have positives and negatives, or some in questions like environmental effects by plastics.
Yes.
For questions like those.
Those do have a positive and negative effects.
Okay.
Especially the ones which have environmental impacts or health impacts.
Okay.
Those will have positive and negative effects.
Okay. Or will it be about some some person? Do we also have some paragraphs about the person
it
life?
Can be about a particular well-known person of Canadian location and their contribution to society and how he was brought up, his contribution, his social activities, and later on how the person moved into political party. It can be a passage like that.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So any topic, subject matter, they can give you a passage.
Understood. Okay.
So whenever you get time, because I would like to, because tomorrow if I complete part 4, then on Friday we can run through a short test of all the 4 parts together. Like we did in listening last week. Same thing I want to do it for reading.
Sure. Okay.
So if you get time, I understand there are certain other emergencies right now, but whenever you get time, just try to practice. And if you have any doubts, it can get cleared in the classroom activities itself.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. I just want a gist of part 4. How is part 4?
Part 4 would be like a passage which is often argumentative based, where you're going to get
two sides.
Information.
2 sides will be there'll be 2 sides.
Viewpoints will be shared to you. It's a reading for viewpoints. So 2 viewpoints will be shared to you.
Okay.
And sometimes it can be more than 2. So the point is that there'll be 2 groups. It will not be more than 2 groups. So they give you a topic. Suppose they give you a topic about working. I mean, people must work after the age of 60. Okay. This kind of topic has been given to you.
Okay.
And there are viewpoints. A party says that these are the positive things. Another group says negative about working after the age of 60.
Okay.
So there will be some contenders who support A and some who support B.
Okay.
And their views are also important to understand.
Oh.
Okay. But the point is that here you're going to come across some difficult vocabulary. Even the questions are important to understand, like whose statement I have to find, whose viewpoint I have to find, what is he stating.
Okay.
Options also become slightly lengthier. It's not really 1 or 2 words, little lengthy options they give you.
Okay.
And you read through each and every options to make out which is acceptable and which is to be eliminated.
Okay. And how long is this part now?
Yeah, it's for 13 minutes.
Okay. So I think that is the longest part.
That is the longest time they give you, and 10 questions for 13 minutes you will have to do.
Okay.
And it's again divided into 2 parts, 5 and 5 questions you get.
Oh.
But first 5 is related to the passage. The next 5 is not related to the passage.
So that means we have to infer.
You have to infer, yes.
Okay.
Because not about infer, but this like next questions that you're going to see in part 4, you will see that that person is maybe the writer who is giving his viewpoint, or he is trying to support any one of the party.
Okay.
In that. This third person who's writing the next 5 questions is supporting any one of the party and giving you have to get to know which party he's supporting through the statements that he had given you in the question.
Okay, so it'll be questions will be like, what do you think the author thinks about,
Not
this?
really.
Okay. Okay, probably when we get to that part we will understand.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's like little mind blogging, and definitely people you need to have a really advanced, a little better skills in understanding, because passage is very uncommon time. Sometimes you might not get the feel of it.
Okay.
And not much means the passage size will be short, but the information comprehending needs to be a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Not like in part 1 was simpler to understand and simpler to interpret. Here in part 4 to go between the lines.
Okay.
To infer the details.
Right. And how many mistakes can I afford to make in the entire reading section, ma'am? To get 5 mistakes I can afford to make. Okay. Okay.
So that's why part 1 and 2, if you can do it very well without making mistakes, then in part 4, even if you make 2 mistakes, because of less of time and because you couldn't understand the question well, or reading the paragraph you couldn't get the answer well, there's a possibility you make the wrong choices.
Right.
Because again the same thing applies. Out of 4, 2 seems to be very alluring. 2 seems to be always very correct.
Yeah.
And then you can't make it up.
Right.
In that.
Okay, ma'am. Got it. Okay, ma'am.
So we'll do that in tomorrow's session, and on a Friday we will run through a small test in the class as we did in the last time, and that would be helping you to recollect all the parts again.
Right. So I mean, for me, like if this reading section is over, I think
all the modules gets over.
All the modules will be over. So what next, ma'am? So how do I, like, for example, if I'm practicing, if I have questions, how do I?
You can address the admin, the number that has been given to you, or the number through which communication has been done to you.
Okay.
You can reach out to that number, and if you need some extra sessions related to pertaining to writing or speaking or listening or reading, you can be given that extra lessons for that. Extra lessons in the sense doubt clearance session.
Yeah. Okay. Those doubt clearance sessions. And for example, like speaking, there is like there are sessions, right, which we can opt for, like one-to-one sessions.
Yeah, so one-to-one sessions, which you can ask for them. Yes, that can be arranged. Also, you can send your recordings to the email ID which I have shared.
Okay. Yeah, I have that. I have that email ID. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can share your writing and speaking on those things, and I can give you feedback on the same.
Okay.
You can also ask for a writing evaluation session on a one-on-one basis, or a speaking evaluation session on a one-on-one basis.
Okay, ma'am. I think mostly.
And you want to attend the regular classroom, then you can attend the regular classroom, which will be a repetition of what you have already learned.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think mostly I need help with writing and speaking, because I think this only needs evaluation. The other stuff, even like
speaking, you can do it well. Hopefully, possibly because the time you have to manage and see. Work at home with timer. Give the 30 seconds only preparation, and accordingly 60 or 90 seconds for speech. Check your vocabulary, check your sentences that you're making, see your recording, and you can improve a bit.
Okay, ma'am.
Reading, I think it's going well. I hope it should not be a big trouble for you. But part 4, let's see how it goes tomorrow's session. And listening also, you have picked up well. Keep that forte of making less mistakes, and try to see that even in part 4, 5, and 6, with note taking and with understanding of what the speaker is saying, you can manage your questions.
Right.
Last time you did well, so I hope that you will carry it with your practice. So once the classes are over, generally people get laid back and they don't practice.
That's true. Right.
So I expect you to do the same, because if you are planning to give an exam for the one month or so, then you should be in a regular habit of practicing all the modules.
Okay, ma'am. I'll do that.
Sure. Then. Okay. We'll see you tomorrow then, Bhuvnesh, at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Sure, ma'am. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.